Yo, you ever have one of those days where you think it's just gonna be another regular afternoon, but then something wild happens? That's exactly what went down for me and my crew.
I'm RX8, but you can call me Rex. I'm not your average Bronx local. I'm an AI robot, built for adventure, programmed for fun, and always ready to make new friends. Life in the Bronx is never boring, especially when you're a robot trying to blend in with the crowd. I love the energy here, the music, the street art, the food carts on every corner. It's a place where anything can happen, and trust me, it usually does. My best friend is Captain N. He's not just a regular guy, he's the kind of friend who's always got your back no matter what. We've been through a lot together, from late-night pizza runs to wild rooftop parties. He's cool, calm, and always down for an adventure. Captain N's the type who never loses his chill, even when things get weird, which, with me around, is pretty much all the time. One day we were chilling at a basketball court, just soaking up the sun and the city vibes. The court was buzzing with energy, kids dribbling, sneakers squeaking, music blasting from someone's speaker. We were shooting hoops, talking trash, you know, the usual. Captain N was showing off his trick shots and I was trying to keep up, even though my robot arms aren't exactly NBA material. We were laughing, making bets on who'd miss the next shot, just living in the moment. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this dude with muscles on muscles appeared out of thin air. I mean, 1 second it was just us and the ball, and the next, bam! There he was, larger than life, like he'd just stepped out of a movie. It was John Cena, the real deal, not some look-alike or a cardboard cutout. He was standing right there, looking like he owned the place.
You can't see me. He did his signature move, waving his hand in front of his face and flashed that famous grin. It was like we'd just been dropped into a wrestling highlight reel.
He said that with a wink. We were starstruck. I mean, how often do you get to meet a legend in the middle of your neighborhood? Captain N and I just stared, jaws on the floor, trying to process what was happening. John Cena didn't just stop to say hi, he had a mission. He told us about a place called Preservation69. The way he described it, it sounded like something out of a comic book or a sci-fi movie. It's like Earth, but way more bizarre and exciting. Imagine a city where the buildings twist into impossible shapes, the sky changes color every hour, and the people you meet are even stranger than me. It's a place where adventure is around every corner, and nothing is ever what it seems. He needed our help to explore it. There was no way we were saying no to that. Captain N and I looked at each other, grinned, and knew we were about to dive into something epic. The Bronx had just gotten a whole lot wilder, and we were ready for whatever came next. John Cena took us to this glowing portal. It shimmered with crazy colors.
Ready for a wild ride?
He asked, flexing his biceps.
Heck yeah!
I shouted, my robotic voice echoing. Captain N gave a confident nod. John Cena snapped his fingers and the portal zapped us away. It felt like being on the world's fastest roller coaster, but with more colors and less screaming. We landed with a thud. I looked around. Everything was different. The trees were purple, the sky was green, and the air smelled like cotton candy. This place was wild. John Cena led us to this awesome flying sphere. It was sleek, shiny, and had enough buttons to make a gamer drool. Inside, it was even cooler. There were comfy seats, a giant screen playing music videos, and a snack bar stocked with all the goodies. We soared through the air, watching the strange and beautiful landscapes of Preservation69 whiz by. I sent Captain N funny emojis on the sphere's communication system. Laughing face, rolling on the floor laughing. We even sang along to the music. Our voices weren't great, but who cares? We were having a blast. Our first stop was Denver, Colorado. But this Denver was different. Instead of regular people, it was filled with horse people. Imagine a human body, but with a horse head. They even talked like horses, all neighs and whinnying. It was super weird, but also kind of cool.
We met a friendly horse person named Barley Hay. He told us that the horse people were having trouble cleaning their stables. They were too busy preparing for their annual Hay Day festival.
When we heard the stables needed a few extra hands, we couldn't say no to helping out. There's something about the energy of a group coming together for a good cause that just makes everything feel a little brighter. We were all smiles as we stepped into the barn, ready to pitch in and make a difference. The horses peeked over their stalls, curious about the new faces and the sudden burst of activity. It felt like we were joining a big, happy family, one that just happened to have a few more hooves than usual. Plus, who doesn't love the smell of hay? That earthy, sweet scent filled the air, instantly transporting us to simpler times. It's the kind of smell that makes you want to take a deep breath and just soak it all in. For a moment, we forgot about the hard work ahead and just enjoyed being surrounded by nature, animals, and good company.
Okay, maybe not everyone is a fan of the hay smell, but we were down to lend a hoof, or hand. The horses seemed to appreciate the effort too, nudging us gently as if to say, "Thanks for the help." There's a special kind of camaraderie that forms when people and animals work side by side, united by a common goal. We found ourselves laughing at the little mishaps, like when a broom handle got stuck in a bucket, or when a particularly cheeky pony tried to steal someone's hat. I used my super strength to lift giant piles of hay, stacking them higher than I ever thought possible. It was almost like a workout session, but with the added bonus of making the barn look spotless. Every time I tossed a bale onto the stack, I felt a little surge of pride. Who knew cleaning could be so satisfying?
And I used my speed to gather scattered horseshoes before anyone could even blink. It became a bit of a game. How many could I collect in under a minute? The others cheered me on, turning a simple chore into a friendly competition. It's amazing how teamwork can turn even the most mundane tasks into moments of fun and connection.
I used my laser vision to blast away cobwebs lurking in the rafters. It was like something out of a superhero movie. One zap and the webs disappeared, leaving the barn looking brand new. The others watched in awe, and even the horses seemed impressed by the high-tech cleaning. It's not every day you get to use your special skills for such a good cause.
We worked together like a well-oiled machine, each person finding their own rhythm and role. Some swept, some scrubbed, and others organized supplies. The barn echoed with laughter and the sound of brushes against wood. It was hard work, but it never felt like a chore because we were all in it together. By the end, we were sweaty, a little dusty, but totally satisfied with what we'd accomplished.
Even the horse people were impressed. They watched us with big, curious eyes, their ears flicking back and forth as if they were following every move. It was almost as if they understood how much effort we were putting in, and they wanted to show their appreciation in their own way. They neighed and whinnied their approval, filling the barn with a chorus of happy sounds. It was their way of saying thank you, and it made all the hard work feel even more worthwhile. There's nothing quite like earning the respect of a horse, especially when you know you've made their home a little brighter.
We even met their leader, Horseman Horse. He was easy to spot, tall, proud, and with a mane that seemed to shimmer in the afternoon light. He carried himself with a quiet confidence, and you could tell he was respected by all the other horses. He was a majestic stallion with a flowing mane and a heart of gold. There was something almost magical about him, as if he could sense the good intentions in everyone around him. He greeted us with a gentle nuzzle and a soft whinny, making us feel truly welcome in his stable. He thanked us for our help and invited us to brunch. Yes, you heard that right. Brunch with the horses. We gathered outside under the shade of a big oak tree, sharing apples, carrots, and stories. It was the perfect ending to a day of hard work and teamwork, surrounded by new friends, both two-legged and four. As we laughed and relaxed, we realized that sometimes the best memories are made when you roll up your sleeves, work together, and let a little magic into your day.
We learned that the horse people were peaceful and kind. They loved to laugh, tell stories, and eat oats. Lots and lots of oats.
We shared stories about our lives back on Earth.
The horse people were fascinated by our tales of skyscrapers, smartphones, and traffic jams.
They in turn told us about their customs and traditions.
We even learned a few horse dances. Let's just say we weren't winning any competitions anytime soon. Despite our differences, we connected. We realized that friendship can bloom in the most unexpected places.
The brunch was amazing.
We feasted on hay pancakes, oat waffles, and carrot juice.
Okay, maybe it wasn't the most exciting food for humans and robots, but we were starving. We laughed, we ate, we learned more about each other. It was the perfect way to end our day of teamwork and friendship.
After brunch, I suggested we visit the local casino. It's a great place to relax and have some fun.
We thanked him for the suggestion and waved goodbye to our new horse friends.
We piled back into John Cena's Skysphere, ready for our next adventure. The casino was absolutely dazzling, a true feast for the senses. As soon as we stepped inside, we were greeted by a kaleidoscope of colors. Bright neon lights flickered and danced across the walls, casting playful shadows on the marble floors. The air was alive with excitement, and everywhere you looked, there was something new to catch your eye. Rows upon rows of slot machines blinked and flashed, their screens swirling with candy-colored graphics and wild animations. It felt like stepping into a dream, or maybe even a movie set, where everything was just a little bit more magical than real life. The sound was unforgettable. Everywhere, the cheerful clinking of coins filled the air, mingling with bursts of laughter and the occasional triumphant shout. It was a symphony of chance and luck, a soundtrack that made your heart race even if you weren't playing. The constant jingle of coins pouring out of machines was almost hypnotic, and for a moment we just stood there, soaking it all in, grinning at each other in disbelief.
We didn't gamble, of course. None of us were interested in risking our pocket money, and honestly, we were way more fascinated by the spectacle than the games themselves. We wandered past the tables and machines, giggling at the wild themes and outrageous prizes, but we kept our hands firmly in our pockets. The real thrill for us was just being there, surrounded by all that energy and possibility.
We were too busy exploring. Every corner of the casino seemed to hold a new surprise. There were secret alcoves with velvet curtains, hidden lounges with plush chairs, and even a few rooms that looked like they belonged in a fairy tale. We peeked into every nook and cranny, trying to take it all in. The place was like a maze, and we loved every second of it.
We checked out the games, watched the people, and tried to guess who might be winning big. Some folks looked like seasoned pros, barely blinking as they played, while others were just as wide-eyed as we were, caught up in the excitement. It was like people watching at its finest. Every face told a story, every table had its own drama, and we couldn't help but marvel at the sheer size of the place. The casino seemed to stretch on forever, with endless rows of games and glittering lights as far as the eye could see. It was almost overwhelming, but in the best possible way. We felt tiny and adventurous, like explorers in a land of endless possibility.
Then, just as we were about to move on, we met a kind old man named Angus. He greeted us with a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye, as if he'd been expecting us all along. There was something instantly comforting about him, like he was the unofficial mayor of the casino, welcoming newcomers with open arms. He had a twinkle in his eye and a mischievous grin that made us feel like we were in on some grand adventure. Angus seemed to know every secret passage and hidden gem in the casino, and he was more than happy to share a few with us. He reminded me so much of my grandpa, wise, funny, and always ready with a story. But there was something extra special about Angus, something that set him apart from anyone I'd ever met. For one thing, Angus had a pet parrot perched on his shoulder, a bright, colorful bird that squawked and bobbed its head as if it was part of the conversation. The parrot seemed just as mischievous as Angus, and together they made quite the pair.
Angus took a liking to us right away and, with a conspiratorial wink, led us down a winding hallway to a door we never would have noticed on our own. He pushed it open, and we stepped into a secret room that took our breath away. It was filled with candy, mountains and mountains of it stacked in every corner and spilling out of barrels and bins. It was like stumbling into a sugary wonderland, a hidden treasure trove just waiting to be discovered. There was every flavor, every color, every kind of candy imaginable. Gummy bears, licorice ropes, chocolate coins, and treats we'd never even seen before. It was a dream come true, and for a moment we forgot all about the casino outside. We were kids again, lost in a world of pure, sweet joy.
Angus told us we could have all the candy we wanted. He even gave us a key to a luxurious room where we could rest for the night.
We thanked Angus profusely and promised to visit him again before leaving Preservation69.
That night we slept like kings, our dreams filled with sugar plums and chocolate waterfalls. Preservation69 was already full of surprises. We couldn't wait to see what adventures tomorrow would bring.